All right, we are back with another.
Serving you.
You guys did it so much better in unison the last
Well,
couple
it's
times.
because I had on my mind Backstreet's Back, and I couldn't get it out of my head.
Serving you's back.
All right.
We did that. All right, people. Hey, all right. People may be wondering why we are dressed as such. Because I have. Hold on.
Why we have clothes on? I'm confused.
Oh my God, there kills it.
Because I have a hat on, and I don't usually wear a hat on the podcast.
They're wondering why you're so formal today.
Yes, why am I so formal today? So, Matt, would you like to take, this is your episode of Serving You.
Yeah, so in case anyone is wondering, this is the holiday episode, so that's why we're all decked out in our festive finest.
Holiday cheer.
Holiday cheer.
Ho, ho, ho.
So I don't want people to think that the reason why we're doing this podcast is to talk smack about our customers and other patrons. So it's like, how can we put a positive spin on things?
Fair.
They pay our bills.
Well, well, a lot of times they deserve it. So I was like, how can we talk? And plus, it's the holidays, and everyone is full of the holiday spirit, season greetings, and all that. So I'm like, okay, what can we talk about that's positive?
Okay.
And the very first thing that came to mind is I have actually learned quite a bit. Well, when I was working in the industry, when I was a bartender, when I was working in a restaurant. I love people and I love meeting new people and learning new things. Don't. I do love people. Not as much as I used to, because people.
There's always.
But one of the things that I really liked about working in the industry is I was constantly meeting someone new, learning something new. Being exposed to different people exposing themselves to me. That actually happened a couple of times. I was a bartender. You know how things are when you're a bartender. Things happen.
I serve breakfast. Things happen.
Yeah.
Bartending at a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, things happen. Hey,
Things happen.
you've never been under the influence of tequila?
Yep. Close off.
And Southern hospitality?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, those are
They do it in South
Using that
Carolina.
term.
that's a very potent mix. So what I want to talk about today is what we have learned from other people, whether it's a customer, whether it's a coworker, but positive things. I know we've all learned negative things from other people, but so mine is an extreme.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, I'm going to go big or go home.
Can I interject very quickly? And I apologize.
Well, you already have, so go
knock you
ahead.
off the train of thought. So, just for the viewers or listeners, Matt was very specific about he wanted to do a holiday episode.
Yes.
So we're doing this holiday episode, and we're themed up, and I've got my hat on, and I thought this was going to be about, like, the holidays in the industry, and I was like, oh, what are we going to talk about, like, what happens in the holidays in the industry? And it's just positivity.
That's holiday themed. The holidays are about
Well, wait till you hear my example.
Oh,
you'll,
okay.
you'll see how. So, like
Also, I'm sorry for booing positivity, but go on.
well,
That's true holiday spirit.
yeah, boo, bah humbug.
Humbug.
So, and like I say, mine is an extreme about what I learned from.
Sure.
Well, like I've said a couple of times now, I was a bartender at a Mexican restaurant, worked in a Mexican restaurant for 13 plus years. In another episode, maybe we'll get into how all that came about. But that was my first real exposure to another culture. And so not only was I learning another language and another culture, but I was learning other traditions. And so I can't remember the first year. I want to say it was like 1997 or 1998 or 1999. I don't know. I can't remember the year. But anyway, one year I spent Christmas in Mexico. And when I say Mexico, I don't mean like Mexico City or one of the bigger cities. I mean, I was in very rural Mexico where I was the first white person that a lot of the people had ever seen in person, or maybe even on TV. So for me, it was very eye-opening to see how other people celebrated Christmas. And so that's where I learned that in the Mexican culture, which I'd kind of seen it in the years before working in the restaurant, but when I was actually there and seeing it, it was a whole different thing. But for them, the emphasis, well, in a lot of ways, the emphasis is on the entire month. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the emphasis is on Christmas Eve, or Noche Buena. So Noche Buena there's just food everywhere. And when I say food, I mean tables and tables and tables of food.
I'm listening.
Yes, I know. I had you
had him at food, yeah.
Go on.
But so much food, and everybody was there, and it's all in the streets. So there's food everywhere. There's people everywhere. There's music everywhere. So it's family, it's friends, it's people that you don't know, and I was there multiple times at Christmas, and each time it was very similar. That we partied until 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and so food, drink, music, gifts, and yes, they do get gifts in Mexico, but it's not like it is here. Here's very, how much money can I spend on one person? Yeah. In Mexico, it's more of a, I don't want to say a token gift, but it was much more modest. Yeah. I'll say it that way.
Probably heartfelt.
And much more heartfelt.
Yeah. Thoughtful.
And then Christmas Day was, well, one, you've stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning, so you're sleeping till noon or 1. So Christmas Day was much more about rest, but then you would also still spend some time with family and friends. And I just remember that was very different from how Christmas had always been for me and my family, where in my family on Christmas Eve, we got together and we ate, and we typically exchanged maybe one gift, and then that was it. The big day was Christmas Day. So yeah, that's my positive spin on something that I learned from my customers and coworkers about a different way of celebrating the holiday.
That's nice. That's good exposure.
Yeah, it's good, and I that is a nice thing about, I think, the restaurant industry is it brings people together from all different walks of life. It's interesting, all different walks of life, all different ethnicities, all different socioeconomic backgrounds, but at the same time, you have to have that something in you that can A, deal with it, and B, wants to be a part of it, right? Like, you want to be a part of it. So it's interesting because you can be from so many different places, but there is a connectivity in the restaurant industry that, because I try to have friends of mine that I grew up with work in restaurant. When I started in restaurants 15, 16, going to 17, I was like, oh, you should be in a restaurant. Don't do call center. Let's go. And they would literally, two different friends spent half a shift or one full shift in the restaurant with me. And they were just like, how do you do this? And I was like, how do you sit in a call center?
Right.
But, and so you can be from anywhere, but there is a connectivity because of, it's a certain person that can work in a restaurant.
Amen.
And I learned that early on when I found out these other people that I thought, we're great friends outside and we connect on everything else, but they aren't that type of person that can work in a restaurant.
Nope. So
that's a nice thing, kind of as you pointed out, Matt, is you can get introduced to so many different cultures and just differences, and that's great.
All right, so along those lines, is there anything in particular, well, this question is for both of y'all, is there anything in particular that while you were taking care of someone or a family that you got to talking about the holidays and maybe a different custom that they have or a different tradition that they have, and you're like, oh, well, that's different?
I know that when I've come into contact with different religious sects, they don't all celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
So then when you're serving tables, you got to be real careful because you can sometimes offend people when you're like, Merry Christmas. So I've learned to say Happy Holidays. I don't know about traditions though. My family, we grew up like that. Christmas Eve was huge and Christmas Day was nothing. We would have everything on Christmas Eve, which was really cool.
But your family is
Sicilian.
okay.
So it's different. Because that's ethnic, right? The Latin culture's party, dude. They can party for like, you know, your kid got a new bike or something. And they're like throwing down till 3 a.m. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, along that line, you know, I have been at parties where the party is for like a 1-year-old, and the party goes
It's
till
huge.
3 or 4 o'clock in the
Literally.
morning, and the 1-year-old has been asleep for
Yep.
like 6 hours,
But
and you're like, well, wait a minute, where's the
aunts and
birthday boy
uncles,
or the birthday girl, and well, this party's kind of for them, but it's more just a reason to get together and
Yeah.
eat and drink and have everybody over.
Yep, and have a good time. I have learned from my customers, though, with your question, excuse me, that you can never judge a book by its cover. And that
Yeah.
sometimes you'll approach a table and think that this is like, well, I'm wasting my time, whatever, I'll go through the motions. And then they're amazing people. They're down to earth, they tip you well, they relate. That has been my biggest lesson with serving.
I
The
think that's
biggest
really good.
positive lesson.
Yeah.
Totally.
To learn things from people, I have to be empathetic. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. That feel weird in your mouth?
I didn't like it at all.
You had problems spitting that out.
Is it empathy? No, I mean, I know I've learned things. Yeah, I would say this is a question I'd have to think about a lot more because I'm now combing through 20 years of being in the service industry, different restaurants, different people,
clientele,
country
yeah.
club, you know, diner, you know, it's all kind of combing through and like what clicked where, what I will say, you know, when it comes to the holidays, I'll touch briefly on, I learned the difference between how my family celebrated and other people celebrated. And then it caused me to appreciate how my family celebrated.
Fair.
So, like, my family was big. And so I grew up with middle class to upper middle class for most of my childhood until we went to lower middle class due to both my parents losing their job in the same year type thing. So that was a bit of a swing. But for the most part, my childhood was pretty good. No complaints. And my parents did a thing on Christmas Eve. And talking to people is when I learned this was a bit different. Was my parents, we would open up all of the relatives' gifts on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. And then we would open up the family gifts on Christmas. And you could sell that as that we're celebrating family on Christmas and, you know, blah, blah, blah. The reality was, and the parenting of it was, they didn't want their gifts compared to the relatives' gifts.
Oh.
So, you know, it's, you know, that's not in front of you. This is what's in front of you. This is what you're thinking about.
Okay.
So, you know, my parents' gifts aren't being compared to my grandmother's gift type. And my grandmother's gift isn't going to be. Mm-hmm. So that was a clever parenting thing that I just thought as you grow up, you assume everybody does this stuff. And then that's not.
Always. Yeah, you always assume everybody.
But I will say what I've taken from working in the industry and what I've learned is that you know, again, the don't judge a book by its cover, but I learned how to be a better manager and leader from the industry, and that was less from guest and just more from working with people. And when you work with a manager who is more apt to, hey guys, this needs to get done, and kicks in a little bit to help get it done, at least at the beginning to get it started, and as opposed to like this needs to get done and is never a part of it. I just started learning those little things about what, if I was ever going to be in charge, how do I want to be perceived as, and so that stuff really happened in the industry. And then the other thing is not judging a book by its cover, and that went from guests to, because I would tell people at the 4-star hotel I worked at, I'm like, you don't know who's sitting in front of you.
Never. You never know.
I have very interesting stories about Mr. Blank. I think I've told you about him, which is a good story. But then your coworkers, you don't know and it's funny because I worked with an African American guy who very much grew up on the south side of St. Pete, and he kind of very much, you wouldn't, and him and I started at the same time at the hotel. and there's no reason we would be running in any of the same circles. But we started at the same time, so we had a friendship from that, and we just
Right.
kind of got along. And we'd been at the hotel. We were the last ones in our starting class that were still at the hotel 5, 6, 7 years later. And then I was talking about a gay bar that closed down in town called Georgie's Alibi many, many years prior.
Many years, yeah.
And Russell was just like, "Are you talking about Georgie's? Man, I used to go there on a Thursday night for Long Island iced tea. I loved it. Everybody was great. Loved hanging out." And it was just like, if I met him out anywhere else, I'd be like, "There's no way that guy likes gay people. And we're going to
Right.
get along."
Yeah.
But then it's
That's cool.
you're in a mutual situation that lets you open up
Yeah.
to find out, oh, you've drinking at the same bar. You've hung out around the same people.
Yeah, you build bridges in a way.
Yeah, and
That's
so that's kind of what I learned is to, this may seem shocking to some, but to be less judgy.
Are you shocked?
Are you saying that you're less judgy than you used to be?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
We didn't need to close
That's
up
a
to both
whole
of those
nother
reactions.
episode. Sorry.
Wow. Okay.
But did that answer your question? I don't know if we answered it or not.
Well, I mean, there was no right or wrong answer. I mean, I'm not going to grade you. Well, yeah, I am. I've already graded your
I was going to
answers.
say, you're doing it internally. Why not speak on it?
But you actually said something that made me think of another question related to the holidays. You said something about seeing how other people celebrated made you appreciate how
Yes.
you celebrated
That's
or
good.
your family or
Yeah.
whatever. I'll say for me, I don't want to be a downer, but seeing the huge parties in Mexico and family and friends, I mean, the streets are just literally packed with people, whether they know each other or not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a huge celebration because you're not necessarily celebrating your family or
Yeah.
your friends. Everyone is just celebrating. They're celebrating the holiday. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, then, you come back and it's kind of like, you're
Deflated in a way.
Yeah. The next
Yeah.
Christmas here, I'm like,
Ew.
this is it. Because I didn't have a huge family. And my family never celebrated Christmas in a huge fashion.
Right.
I mean, yeah, we celebrated. Yes,
Yeah.
we ate. Yes, we got together. Yes, we exchanged
Yeah,
gifts.
but not like that.
But no, not like that. So in a lot of ways, coming back to this culture and my family's traditions, God, I don't want to say that it was a letdown, but I just kept thinking, but we could be doing so much
Yeah.
more.
But have you heard of this?
Exactly.
Why don't we take this? Why don't we just do this outside in the street?
Right.
We'll set up our boom boxes,
Right.
But
We'll get the card table out.
Yeah.
Pile it with some food.
and now that I'm thinking about, well, why didn't we do that? I'm sitting there thinking, oh, the neighbors would have called the cops on us. That's probably a good thing. I mean, who wants to be arrested on Christmas for celebrating
fun.
of all things?
Yeah, it might be
So,
fun.
but yeah, so for y'all, being in the industry, and seeing how one person or one family or one group celebrates or doesn't celebrate, how has that made you appreciate your family or your culture or your traditions or?
My life took a different path from my childhood. So I started in a big family, and now it's just me. So
And us.
And you, yes,
you'll
of
always
course,
have
you
us.
guys. How could I forget yous? My holidays now are more about like peaceful times and quietness, and not the whole big to do. I don't know. I kind of just go inside and I appreciate and accept. My life is about acceptance now. Is where I'm at.
I'm going to guess that also comes from, because if we're being honest about it, the holidays in the service industry, they're tough to go hand in hand. Because I remember growing up and what holidays were, but let's be honest, as an adult, holidays weren't that. If my family wanted to see me on a holiday, they had to make a reservation.
Yeah, right. That's
I mean,
fair. 'Cause
that's
you
the
work
reality. We work
ass
holidays.
off for
Like, you know,
holidays.
I remember there was a server. So, like, when I was at the fine dining restaurant, from Christmas to New Year's, which is 1 week, by the way, 7 days from Christmas to New Year's, was a Saturday night pretty much every
Yeah.
night. We were crazy busy every night, full reservations. And I remember a server came, and we worked all 7 nights, and a server came in and was like, I should be off one of these nights. And I snapped at her. I was like, quit. You know the industry you're in.
Yeah.
Like, either accept that you're in this industry
No, that's real.
or quit, but don't come in and complain about it because I don't have time for that. Like, we all are in this.
No, and that's the industry, is that you're entertaining the people who want to come
Yeah.
out with their family and have a good time, and that's part of your role.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
you're right.
it's changed the holidays for me, but in a good way. So, like, we celebrate, we call it Mocksgiving, so like a mock Thanksgiving. And my ex and I have been doing this for a while. He's continued doing it. Matt and I have gone over to it, and it's gotten up to like 26 people sometimes.
Hell
it's
yeah.
massive, but it's chosen family. But you know, like, real families invited, blood families invited, chosen families invited. It becomes a big party, but it's able to do. It's interesting because that's able to happen. Because we started doing it a week before Thanksgiving because I worked every Thanksgiving and you weren't going to have a Thanksgiving.
Nope.
And the irony is, if we had regular Thanksgiving, it would be 6 people with just your blood family because everybody's with their family. So the fact that we weren't able to do that, and I think that that's for a lot of people in the service industry, and I really like that part of it, is I think you celebrate your chosen family much more. So many people in the service industry have Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving.
Yeah, Friendsgiving, I've heard of that for sure.
They do their holiday parties a week early,
Yep.
2 weeks early, and they get all their friends. And I think it becomes more of that joyous celebration, like you're talking about what happens in Mexico, because it's already off of the holiday. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I think we're so rooted in the tradition, especially here, in this culture, on what happens on the holiday. And if you take it off that holiday, you kind of get to do whatever you want with it. And what I have found and what I've seen going to friends in the industries, parties, and so on is like, oh, if you get to do whatever you want, you get to lose the tradition. Like, people have a lot more fun with that.
Yeah, there's no rigidity.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And so I think that's kind of been I'll say that's kind of been a cool thing of losing the holidays to the industry is kind of what we as an industry create from that. And I think it's a bit joyous when you really think about it. When you get to those events,
No, that's fair. In
it's
fact,
people getting to celebrate.
Yep. The night before Thanksgiving, me and a few of the cooks went out and had some drinks, and I have fucking cried. I laughed so hard. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And it really builds kind of a bond too between coworkers when you can do that outside of the stress of the restaurant. Because then when you get back in there and your cook's pissed off and your customers are giving you shit, you two don't go at each other because you kind of have an outside thing. So
Yeah.
you accept more, you chill, you're like, okay, I won't bite your fucking head off right now, excuse my language. So no, it is. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So that's been one of the cool things I found.
Yeah. And while we're on the topic of Mocksgiving, Bob, I want you to notice the shirt that I'm wearing.
Ooh, you got a wink.
Oh.
I love that. That's
bet.
saucy.
What if I don't edit that close up in? It's just weird.
Well, thinking Bob is going to watch more than 3 minutes of this. So,
He's hoping that's just one of the clips that gets put out.
yeah, he has the attention span of a goldfish. So,
Oh, shoot.
Oh, I love how in 2 of the first episodes you've talked shit about my ex. It's great.
I'm not talking
good
shit
theme.
about Bob.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
Oh, it's a good theme.
You've referenced.
One, I'm appreciating something that he gave me, and then I'm stating a fact. So,
Wink.
So, all right. Well, you want to wrap up the episode? Your episode.
in a big red pretty bow.
In a
Yes.
big red Christmassy holiday pretty bow.
Yeah, I'll say y'all's answers and responses made me think about things in a different way. I especially liked your the industry kind of makes us celebrate in a different way because we don't always get to celebrate on the day of. So then it
Yeah,
can,
that was a great point.
yeah. So then it
Yeah.
kind of
I
becomes
do what I can.
it almost
humble
becomes
yourself.
where you're celebrating the holiday, but not strictly the way that it should be celebrated. You're celebrating the spirit
spirit.
of whatever that holiday
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
which
So,
is what it's about.
yeah.
It's what we all should do.
Yeah.
Celebrate the spirit, which is what they did in Mexico.
Yeah, exactly.
Way to tie it all back in.
Yes! Score!
All right, well, I'll tell you what, let's wrap it up. We're right on time. That was another episode of
Serving you.
Back. All right. No, okay, sorry.